Hey guys, Carl here, Cultivate with Carl, and I'm underneath my shade tent for my tomatoes. So today on Cultivate with Carl, we're going to try out something new. We're going to put up our first generation shade tent to protect our tomatoes from the blazing South Mississippi sun. So stand by. Hey guys, it's Carl, Cultivate with Carl, and today on Cultivate with Carl, we're going to be talking about my shade cloth, Generation 1 that I just put up here for my tomatoes. So if you remember last year on Cultivate with Carl, if not, you can go back and look in the archives. In Mississippi, South Mississippi, we went from a pretty mild fall right into like in 1 week. It was bam. It was summertime, and the temperatures was in the 90s, humidity in the 90s, and it was typical South Mississippi summer. But then it just got hotter and hotter and hotter, and that absolutely terminated all tomato production. We had up to that point been having a great year. Tomatoes were going well, everything was going well, and then the heat hit, and bam, it ended up myself and other people in Zone 9A, we just basically ended up shutting down our gardens for the rest of the summer because, I mean, honestly, it was just too hot to grow anything. So the way things that are going this year with the tomatoes that we have under the tent right now, we have a great haul of tomatoes going, knock on wood. Having a little blossom end rot problem. We took care of that last week. It looks like the remedy that I used, which was the calcium nitrate, it fixed the problem. So we're gonna reapply here shortly. But the other problem that I wanted to take care of was the heat. Now we are into May. It has started to heat up. Today we started out very mild, but yesterday we were like at 90 degrees. So there's two temperatures that matter. Of course, your daytime temperature matters, and the amount of sunshine you get matters, but also your nighttime temperatures matter for plant production, because plants during the day, they're like batteries. They just suck up all that sunshine, and then at night is when the magic happens, is when they do all their plant stuff. And pretty soon it will be too hot at night for these tomatoes to put on flowers and such. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to extend our tomato season just a little, just a couple weeks, to buy us a couple weeks, because come June, South Mississippi is going to do what South Mississippi does, and it just gets hot. And so if I can extend the tomato season just by a few weeks, then I will get exponentially more tomatoes, or these tomatoes will be allowed to complete their life cycle instead of just getting blistered up by the sun and having to ripen on the windowsill. So what I did was, I had two goals with this. First, I didn't want to spend any additional money that I haven't already spent in getting this put together. Because of course I could have built a nice frame and everything, and it wouldn't have looked all spiffy, and but the goal was, go with equipment I had on hand. So last year I had purchased the shade cloth and never used it. And I just got it right off of Amazon. I'm not sponsored by nobody or anything. I just picked one of the 40% shade cloths on there and bought it. So it's been sitting in the shed ever since last year. Also, I had all those green vegetable rods like you get at the big box store that you've seen on my trellis system and stuff like that. And they were all sitting behind the shed because I had taken them out of the garden when we did the cleanup. So essentially, that is what I use. And we'll go inside the tent here and see how I propped everything up. I must say, though, that having experience from the military of hanging up 1980s era camouflage netting, over military equipment paid off for this adventure because it was very familiar. It seemed just like hanging camouflage netting over our old tents back in the day. So that's pretty cool. If you've ever done that, you know what I'm talking about, and then you can realize how pretty much easy this is. Other than that, we'll take a look at it. The Squirrel Patrol is out doing their thing. What we have is I've basically got the poles holding everything up, and it's being held up with tension. On the far end, it is zip tied to my tomato frames down there, and then the tension with the poles leaning out It holds it in place. Plus I've got it secured around the bottom in a couple places with some screws. And but all that will come apart quickly. We are doing a bunch of storms next week. Now supposedly with this stuff, the rain falls right through it. That's great. But I also have the watering system going on. I really haven't had that much problem with keeping them watered this year. Now the shade cloth should help out, you know, with some of the sun beating down on them in the middle of the day. We are running into about 12:30 right now. The sun's peeking up there, and we've got blue skies and a light breeze. So it's pretty good. But let's take the camera off the tripod. I'm gonna go back to jiggle cam. So hold on to your coffee. We're gonna go up under the tent and we'll take a look at it from under there. All right, y'all, this is what it looks like underneath the tunnel. We've got the sticks poking up. Now, if you see right here, these sticks came with a pointy end and they came with a flat end. And so what I did was I put the flat end up there to keep it from poking through so easy. And now with the wind going, it may poke through anyway. But like I said, this is just generation 1, a test. If it works well, I may go ahead and just put the whole, you know, build a frame for all of this. So you can see over here where it's just connected to my trellis. You know, I just zip tied it on up there, and that's how we held it in place. Now these tomatoes, you're gonna be like, well, Carl, these tomatoes aren't underneath the shade cloth. They're gonna get ripped off. Well, actually, except for in the midday, they'll get sun in the midday, that is fact. But come afternoon, these guys will be shaded coming and going by where the sun is now. You could actually see some of these, they're already in the shade, as opposed to the ones that are back there along the fence. They're getting full sun. And so what's exciting is that my tomatoes are starting to ripen, and I've got green peppers over there. So things are really starting to pop in the garden. This is my favorite time of the year when, you know, we're actually able to harvest out and get a bunch of stuff. All right, guys, there you go. You know, got my Operation Iraqi Freedom hat on. There you go. I've had this thing for a while. It's my son's summer hat. But anyway, up here underneath the tent, it is not that bad. The breeze is blowing. It's kind of shady. And I think that's great because this works out well. So by the end of next week, when the rain comes through and the storms happen, this could just be one big old torn up mess. We'll see. Like I said, this is Gen 1. It is the experiment to see if something simple and easy like this will work for a few weeks to get us some more production out of our tomatoes. So stay tuned. As always, you know, do some fun stuff. Get out there. It's summertime, people. No more winter craziness. Get out there and do some fun gardening. Grow it, even if you're just growing on your patio in a pot or two. You know, I tell you, if you're growing tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff out here, you won't have to buy them at the store. And they taste better, and they're probably better for you, to be honest with you. So there you go. It's Carl signing off from Cultivate with Carl. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.